name is Sean Edwards, and I'm the business owner of Harvest Painting Impressions, and I provide interior and exterior painting and deck staining services to all residential and commercial clients. At Harvest Painting Impressions, I embody the perspective that every home or property has a look and quality of its own. And my primary goal with you as a valued customer is to accentuate the look of your home by adding life to it through the art of applying color. With Painting Impressions as a customer, you will have the option to acquire a variety of service options, promotions, senior discounts, material and labor warranties included with any project. In addition to that, I value the opportunity to provide you with a free and comprehensive service plan that is simple and specifically designed to promote quality performance and, most importantly, your satisfaction. For your free estimate, you can contact me at area code 815-590-6489.
Greetings. How are y'all doing? I'm trying to send over this here stuff real quick before I forget, because I will forget. So I need to send it over. Wait a minute. How are y'all? Give me one quick second. Talk amongst yourselves. All right. I got to find. Trying to find this girl so I can send this. I hope y'all doing well and in good spirits. I smell my perfume. Damn, perfume just came in and knocked me down. And knocked me down, knocked me down. Sometimes love comes around. And you get back up when it knocks you down.
I'm not going to tell you. You said I smell. I was like, and I just took off my shoes. Like, oh my God.
No, I smell perfume. Hey, y'all. What y'all got going on? We got to have a quick conversation, child. Some stuff. Where is this girl at? I might have to just type her name in. I didn't even see all of these dang on messages. I might have to just type her name in real quick because, well, which shit. Here you go. I'm almost done. Almost done. Okay. So look, first of all, how y'all doing? Y'all good? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? That's what the girl Tiara, she be saying that on TikTok. I mean, she like, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing? But so look, we was having a conversation. What up, gang? Gang. Okay. We were having a conversation, and I was talking to Aubrey and Josine, and I think Carbon was sitting here too. Before I started the TikTok, look, why I look like this? Because I was telling them on TikTok how on Pretty Woman, before I go back into that what I was going to say, on Pretty Woman the movie, you know, Julia Roberts was the acting prostitute, and she had on the blonde wig, and then, hey, Miss Tina, I just saw your message. Call me Quatita, Miss Tina. She had on a blonde wig like I had on my blonde wig, and then her and Richard Gere did what they was gonna do. They did one, and then he went to the bathroom, and when he came back from the bathroom, he noticed that she didn't have on the wig, that she had beautiful, luscious red locks like me. And although I am not a prostituter, I have the right and reserve the right to take off my blonde wig when I get ready. You just say,
I'm not a prostitute, but I can give you what you want.
okay, cause period. And it'll be fire again when I put it back on. Okay? Great too. You know what I mean? So me, Jose, and Aubrey was talking. And again, I think Corbin was sitting here. He was in and out. And so I posed this question. I said, why is it that the genomes have been known to slaughter communities of people, burn down communities, Black Wall Street, Rosewood, and most shit? They have put towns and cities under lakes. They have committed atrocities and different things like this. And they have been allowed to do this. Now, with that being said, how is it that these same folks have sundown towns that we're afraid to be in? And listen, we make sure we get our ass up and through out of a sundown town. Let's just take a minute to let that register. There are sundown towns that we stay the fuck out of because you know that they are sundown towns. Now, we need a sun up town. Okay. So first, everybody know what a sundown town is? And y'all know why we stay out of it? If you do, please put it in the chat. All right. Everybody know what that is in Lovecraft Country. Now, let's think about this. Let's think about this critically. We say, because why we ain't rounded up our people, because these ain't cops, is they? These are genomes that has control of different towns, townships, and cities, city limits. They say these are sundown towns, which means that if you are one of us, you should not be in this part of this place after the sun goes down, as of your life is at risk. How about our ancestors honored that shit? And we will tell you in a minute, after the sun goes down, that's right, it's not safe. But why isn't it safe? Somebody tell me. Why isn't it safe? Yes, Miss Yoshi, they are. A lot of times they eat us. Say when the sun goes down, they hunt us. I'm so glad you said it that way, Mina the nurse fairy. Let's critically think about that. Anybody seen the movie Sinners? Let's critically think about that shit. We don't really know why the ancestors were honoring that shit. We know that they hunt our motherfucking ass. We know that they like how many atrocities have we seen in these sundown towns where these melanite bodies have been ripped to shreds and eaten off of and carnivores. That's right. What motherfuckers are carnivores? The vamps. The vamps are carnivores. So why we just keep our asses out of it? We don't think that we can come on, dinosaurs. We don't think that we can round up these little YNs that's murdering neighborhoods of people. We can round up the little YNs and let's charge in like motherfucking Nat Turner. But fear of what? A fear of what? They ain't got no fear. YNs ain't got no fear of us. They come YNs, these little young guys, they come, they killing up everything. So we need to critically think. It's more shit going on in these sundown towns than what the fuck we know. Are they hiding in plain sight? And I do mean the vamps and the reptilians. I'm not talking about werewolves because, baby, we're the werewolves. Our people are the werewolves. The Indians, the Indians are werewolves. A lot of them are in Houston, Texas. What, sinners? You know what I mean? A fear of jail. Well, who gonna take you to jail? See, if we round up, it's only war. Ain't nobody going to jail. This is life and death. This is war. We're at war within our own communities. But we have refused to go into sundown towns. Why? What's in there? Do you know how many people are usually in a sundown town? We're talking about a community of maybe 500 people. Sometimes it's 1,000, sometimes 10,000 people. Like, they're small people in these sundown towns, and they know everybody, everybody linked, everybody know everybody can, and all that kind of shit. What's QTNA? What's that? I keep smelling perfume. I keep smelling perfume like somebody's spraying it, like, and it just comes past my nose. I'm trying to understand it. I understand about the grocery stores. I'm talking about really a real fight here. Right. Media and the fear put on everyone. Don't get caught in the sun. Because what happens? Why are we not mounting up going into sundown towns? What? And wait for sundown. Why is it not like 100, 500 of us in a sundown town waiting on the sun to go down? See, it's been a lot of people being killed, even in Mississippi. Probably about 7, 8 years ago, a young man in Mississippi head was decapitated and put on his family front porch by the good old boys in the sundown town. These young men are being caught and killed, like they're being lured. They're not even going to these places. They're in their neighborhoods in local bars, and then all of a sudden they're coming up missing. Their bodies are being found in cornfields and in lakes inside of these sundown towns. You said that man was my cousin's man. Your cousin reached out to me. I've talked to her several times in my inbox on Facebook, if that's her man, honey. That was her children's father, the man who had children by that woman, because I had posted it and said, look what they're doing to us. And she inboxed me and said, can you please remove my children's father's head from your Facebook page, please? And I had a conversation with her, and I've talked to her several times after that. Why we ain't waiting on it? Is it because they are did our ancestors know? Why didn't our ancestors do that? See, this is what I'm saying. There is a fear there. There's a real fear there. But where was how were they killing towns of people? Y'all not following what I'm saying. They have killed. They ain't just bombed motherfucking Black Wall Street. They were killing towns and cities of people, putting them under lakes. Lake Lanier. That was a town. That was a city. And there have been plenty. Central Park was a city of Melaninite people before it became Central Park, before they killed all. How did they kill these people? All of that. How did they kill these people? They're not called blue-eyed devils for nothing. They had federal government backing and support. I don't doubt that, because the federal government and judges and polices are also some of these dragons. I mean, she said she must have gotten the mail uniform online. What? Say the same way they took out Project Homes, like Atlanta, Chicago years back. How is it? How? You said, who could they turn to? the power and the magic of their ancestors that they didn't know that they had. So if because see, if I need to convince you that you don't have no power, I'm going to surely let you know that you need to be worshiping this over here, because I know that this over here ain't going to show up for you not one motherfucking time. But all of this over here that you have over here that you don't even know you have is going to show up for you. But then I have to confuse the mind of the people that surround you, that are with you. And I have to make there be a distrust and all of this other shit here for my plan to fucking work. And then when that work, that means you're not going to trust the ancestors or your walking, living ancestors that you are supposed to be family and connected with. So therefore, when you do need some help, they're not coming for your rescue either, much like this fictitious God over here, or this savior over here that ain't saved anything as of yet. And so when your ancestors are showing up and are doing things, you are still calling it this over here. So why the fuck would I keep showing up if you gonna keep saying that it's this over here? You are eliminating my power, full power, and then you don't even want to use your power or your magic, because they've already told you that belongs to the devil, which is really this over here, but you don't know that it's that over there, because the magic belongs to you. However, they are using your magic and your magic of transformation and alchemy to continue to hide themselves. Like, I don't know why we're just not coming together like the motherfucking Care Bears and calling a thing, and calling them out of the shadows and making them come out. Now, is it going to be some scary and fearful shit? Probably, but do I believe the ancestors and the soul spirit and all of this other stuff here will show up? I do. I do. We have not called on them. You keep calling on this energy over here because that is where your belief is, instead of your knowledge and real true knowledge being over here where it should be. Roman and Greek ideology isn't theology of the indigenous. We don't care about that. We know that. We know that. We know that. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Your cocooses have been hidden within you, and they call it your animalistic power, but you don't even believe that. So you are continuing to worship angels and demons and, God figures and things like that, because you don't understand your power that lies within you, within the transformation. I remember some years ago, there was a black guy, a Melanite, that was telling everybody he can transform into a wolf, and they did not believe him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting ready. I don't want to. I'm not getting ready because I ain't gonna repeat myself. You go play by yourself. Go play by yourself. Because I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna repeat myself. And so, he told them, and I've tried to find it over the years, and they have scrubbed it from the internet. But he told them he could transform into a wolf. He was out in the projects talking to these people, and so he went up in this vacant apartment with this girl, and he had her draw this circle, and he said, "Do not come into this circle whatsoever." Right? So he get into the circle, and as she's trying to close this door, she got her back turned. Now the camera's rolling, but it's just kind of showing her trying to like close this door. You hear the growling, you hear it all. You know what I'm saying? You hear it. And so, Rashad, this ain't that. This ain't that. Okay. So, and yes, we can. We can blame those people. We can blame our people. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Can we blame them? Yes. Yes. I blame all your ancestors and my ancestors. Yes, I do. You can blame them. Yes. To answer that question. Because who the fuck else we gonna blame? If you let somebody take away your critical thinking and fucking reverse everything that you know in your mind, yes, I blame you. Because can't nobody do anything to you. And I'm answering it to you. I'm answering it to you. I do. Because nobody can do anything to you unless you allow it. And we are allowing it. And people got mad at Kanye because he said slavery was a choice. Where's the fucking lie at? Black people are the majority within this simulation. How is that not seen or understood? How are there still sundown towns when we are the majority inside of this simulation? We're watching them kill children and roll them up in rugs, and nobody has even stepped to do anything. They have football careers and they're living happy. Why? Why? Because their father is FBI. I don't give a fuck. And nobody else should give a fuck either. That means you eliminate the whole bloodline. Right. Absolutely. You eliminate the whole bloodline, but we just want to love and peace and protest. Absolutely the fuck not. I don't want to protest in peace. I do not. I want to show a motherfucker an eye for an eye. But back to what I was saying. So the girl is struggling trying to close the door. You can hear the growling happening in the back of her, right? You hear him transforming or whatever the fuck is going on. Once she get it closed, she turned. When she turned, she snatched the door back open and took flight. She damn near jumped down a whole flight of steps trying to get the fuck out of there. It was real fear of whatever the fuck she turned around and seen inside of that circle. He was everywhere on the internet at one point in time. You can't find none of his videos of him talking about this transforming nowhere. He was a handsome black guy too. He was caramel complected. Like, he would be in the projects, he would travel, and he would show them how to transform. You can't find him nowhere, and it is my suspicion that maybe the government has something to do with it. You say, because he was a very fine black man. Do you remember who I'm talking about, Ashley? His grandmother taught him how to shapeshift. I can believe it. But when you have people that everybody want to be seen and everybody putting in fake teeth and, you know, everybody wants you to give a click and like and want you to believe some, because everybody wants you to believe some falsified bullshit so they can get a click and like and laugh about how stupid you is that you believe the shit when there's real shit out here that you should be seeing and fucking believing in, but they don't want you to do that. Your imagination isn't just your imagination. Ryan Coogler, wherever the fuck he got the movie Sinners from and his understanding of vampirics, that shit came from somewhere. And he made it and chose the Klan. And he made it and he chose the motherfucking vampires. Why was that? Because there's truth to that shit. I've done many of readings on A Walk with Crime, and it came out that they were eating the bodies of these men. You think that they are just humans that like to eat bodies? If they are hiding in plain sight and they have always been here, you can't think that they're just your government. You can't think that they're not your neighbors. You can't think that they're not the cool neighbor, the cool genome neighbor. You can't think that they're not the, black girl, black guy because they look like you. You can't think that they technology and the shit they can do in shape shifting. You can't think you're the only one. That's why this shit is so crazy that they have this, and the wool that has been placed over your motherfucking eyes is so thick that you don't even know what's going on. You think you really living this shit. That's what boggles my fucking mind, bro. That at no point does your soul stop you in your tracks some days and say, this isn't real. And you stop and look around and get that realization feeling that this isn't real. And then you shake it off and go on about your day. How many people get that feeling from time to time? Raise your hand. I just want to see. I want to know. It's like some days, sometimes I haven't had it happen in a while, but I call it jumping, and I've talked about it several times. It's like a feeling of like, and it maybe it's also looping, but when they do it, I feel like when they do it and everybody is still awake. See, they have to do it when you're sleeping. They don't really care when other people are like at the casinos and they at the clubs and they do the looping and they change certain shit. Because see, the people who need to be sleep are sleeping or going through the hypnosis programming of the simulation, sleeping, right? But those who are up, they don't really give a fuck, because why? They're either drinking, they're intoxicated, they're not paying attention, they're lost, confused, or they're NPCs. So therefore, those who need to be sleep inside of the sleeping simulation, the program of sleep, the hypnosis program, are experiencing that. Sometimes you feel it immediately, like something feels so different today. It feels so different. I feel like I'm in the wrong place. Am I in the right time zone? What timeline am I in? A whole bunch of them. Nothing is real. I know I say it all the time, but I want you to really understand. You are surrounded by people like, girl, you talking to demons. Girl, you live next door to them. Some of y'all fucking them. They are this nigga so mean. I don't know. He act like you're fucking the whole what you consider a demon. He's not real. He's not one of us. Now you've had children by this motherfucker. You've procreated. Now you want me to tell you why this motherfucker mean and busting you in your fucking head and all kind of shit. Because everybody ain't fucking us, bro. Are you hearing me? How could they just go and kill a baby, bro? They fed babies to alligators, or so they told us that. They fed them to their people. Their people are the reptilians. Gators. Are you understanding what I'm saying? This shit is not what you think it is. Your celebrities that you love are no longer your fucking celebrities. They have been hosted. You're infiltrated by beings of different constellations, of interdimensionals. Your mind is fragmented. None of this is real. They're not human. They don't look like you think they look. Nobody is calling the simulation down, the veil down. Everybody like, the veil is getting so thin. Bitch, if the veil comes down, they can't even cloak themselves. You will see them for who the fuck they are. Do you know some people or seeing them for who the fuck they are, and they're calling it some hoe. Didn't we do that on Let's Have a Conversation? Where they were seeing people and they were calling it a something, a demon syndrome type shit. You ain't never looked at somebody and they don't really look like. This shit goes deeper than what you even think. You ever looked at people? Take 5 people, right? You ever looked at 5 different people in your whole lifespan and be like, that bitch look just like a horse? Damn, he looked like, oh my God, he looked like a pug. Oh my God, that bitch look like, don't she look like a beetle or something? Why do you think that is? That motherfucker fine, he look like a lion. Why do you think this is? Why do you think it is? Why do you think that is? And then they be like, what tribe do I belong to? What does it matter? Because if I told you, you still wouldn't understand what I've told you. That nigga look just like a gorilla, bitch. I ain't lying. I know he do. That's where he fucking came from. That's his kukusa. Some people don't look like none of the kukusas. Do you know why? Because those are the humanesque forms. They told you, like a cherubim, there's a lion, there's a human face, there's a fowl, there's a motherfucking like unicorn, horses, bears. We were made in their image. Everybody's in hiding. You're with a bear and don't fucking know it. You're next to a whole lion. You don't know a tiger. That bitch is a Bengal's tiger. You don't even know it because you don't know that these are reptilians. These are the dinosaurs. I keep asking everybody, why the fuck dinosaurs? Tell me the story of dinosaurs, and then I want you to make it make sense. I don't give a fuck if you make it make sense biblically or whatever. Tell me the stories of dinosaurs and then make it make sense. My ex shape shifted in front of me into 3 different faces, 1 pixel out of 1 white man, 1 black man face. I can believe it because I saw my ex transform his face. It looked just like a demon to me, or what we would consider a gargoyle face, is the way I can say it. The soul is a dragon. But what kind of dragon? Dragons are not bad. Not all of them. Just because it's a reptilian, you have a reptilian brain. I've explained that. That is the brain stem. That is the first thing that ever developed inside of this physical vessel, is the brain stem, which is they call the reptilian part of the brain. You were all of that. That's why your skin has scales. I am a dragon. I just want somebody to make it make sense. Yes, the dinosaurs. Yes, I get what she's saying. The dinosaurs are dragons, but they're not all bad. That's why you have Komodo dragons. That's a dinosaur. I want to know if we can. Let me see something. I love how you put that. So I wanted to get the definition of dino, right? Inside of dinosaurs, what is a dino? Combining form meaning terrifying, frightful. We're not asking about the soul and driver of your spirit. Don't come here teaching. I asked you, going to say something, answer the question. I said, what is the story of dinosaurs? You want to be smart. You want to talk about something. That shit you saying is in my book. I've already written that script. I'm so sorry. But if you're going to be here in this chat, there will be no teaching, or you're going to answer the question that is posed. The posed question was, and you are welcome to put it in this chat, what is the story of dinosaurs? And then I said, make it make sense for me. Now you are welcome to do that. But what you're saying, we already know that. There'll be none of that. Do you understand? And I don't give a fuck what you're just saying. Don't care. Do I make myself clear? You're welcome to answer what I've just asked, though. So dino is terrifying and frightful. So soar, a combining form used in the names of extinct reptiles, especially ankylosaurs, usually angelic-sized forms of Latin taxonomic names. So saur means lizard. So dinosaur means a frightening or terrifying lizard. Princess Diana was quoted many times of saying that the royals are lizards. They're not human or real. They're lizards. She was quoted by saying that. She understood who they were, and she was trying to distance herself. She had gotten herself intertwined and sold into something, into a family that she could not control, and she had to have these babies. Like how when Kate was pregnant, and they were saying when she was pregnant, she wasn't seen because they said she was on the brink of death because she needed blood. Now, that's allegedly, but I don't know. That's what I heard. You know what I mean? So, do anybody have the story of the dinosaurs? What's the story of the dinosaurs? A terrifying lizard, yes. You say, my being don't feel they're extinct. They are in another interest. Well, that's still not what I'm asking, because that's obvious because I've just told you that the dinosaurs are still here. They're reptilians. They are the lizard people. They are your government, your royals, your neighbors, people that are in sundown towns. That is what I just told you. And I understand that your being told you that. I get it. But Quatita, this being just told you that as well. And I keep saying that I'm asking for the story that you were given in school that is not in your Bible. And why isn't it in your Bible when they are the first beings, quote unquote, here on planet Earth in this simulation? They said some of them is where some of the birds have come from. Birds came from lizard birds, is what they said. You say they lived in on the first Earth, and then it so-called blew up, and we started populating. LOL. It never made sense. Right. So let's think about it critically. Dinosaurs, they were, you said they were destroyed by a meteor. Dinosaurs ruled the earth for millions of years, then went extinct 66 million years ago, most likely due to a massive asteroid called the Cretaceous period. Okay. Um, where a meteor, and I've talked about this several times, that's why I want you to state it, because I want you to make it make sense. A meteor fell to the earth and killed the dinosaurs. So that means that the dinosaurs who ruled for millions and millions of years only ruled in one small part of the earth in which a meteor asteroid came to the earth and blew up, because it didn't get rid of the earth, or we would not be technically, quote unquote, on it. It would not be the history of our earth planet. It killed all of them. One. And dinosaurs were huge. You said who was actually there to say that really happened? Exactly. They said they ruled the earth. What does rule mean? Let's look that up real quick. Ruled, by the definition, exercise ultimate power or authority over an area and its people. Pronounce authoritatively and legally to be the case. Dominant or powerful factor. So it would seem to me, and I don't know, let's see, in simpler terms, definition of rule, verb, include or exclude by determining judicially or in agreement with rules. It would seem that there would have to be other beings for it to rule over. But then that means that there is a hierarchy of reptilian beings, of dinosaurs. Again, that means a terrifying lizard. Why would they be terrifying if they were all lizards and reptilians? Who would have been frightened of them? Who would have been terrified of them? To have given them that term, what would have made them frightening? They call them carnivores. What meat would they have been eating if they all were lizards? You say, I believe something happened that instantly killed them all at once. Okay. Well, if you can make that make sense, you said you believe it was a lack of oxygen or something. Who said that they used oxygen? Some of them were carnivores. What meat were they eating? Hey, in Egypt, right, there are hieroglyphics, and the hieroglyphics, and there are painted pictures, right, of blue and green beings. And the story goes that they had to paint them blue and green because they could not depict them as they actually saw them. Why is that? What would they have actually looked like? Reason why, and what would make them, if they didn't look like anything wrong or didn't look like, so why would they put them green? I want a coffee. I want a coffee and some real popcorn. What other animals, though? You would think that, but they told you that the animals we have came from these beings, but all of those beings were destroyed. How did we get birds from dinosaurs if all of the dinosaurs were destroyed? Now that goes into another question. Hey, if they have told us that a meteor asteroid fell to the earth, killing all of the dinosaurs, is that what they say? Where's Rakaya? Rakaya, can you put in the chat, if you're in here, what is the story over it? Because how does a meteor kill flying birds or flying dinosaurs? How does a meteor, an asteroid, kill that? How can something evolve that has been destroyed? I'm just asking questions. I'm just stating questions and trying to make some shit make sense. A species has to adapt or die. You read that? You learned that? Or your soul and your spirit told you that? Your soul or spirit told you that, or you learned that, or you read that? Courtney. A species has to adapt or die. I love that. I love that you said that. I want you to help me with that. And we're just having discussions. You learned it. In what kind of okay, it was a change in the environment, so it may not have been oxygen, but may have came and killed. Okay. I see where you're going with that. There's one problem. Why are there still dinosaurs here? You have a whole bunch of different lizards and dinosaurs here. And why are they not huge like they say that they were? And where did those go? And why are there birds? And how did these things migrate from things that were destroyed? And if things have to adapt or die, right? Why haven't genomes, white people, adapted to the sun? Let's go. Melanite, your melanin, absorbs from the sun. It absorbs it. When it hits genome white people, it actually began to scorch and burn them and cause radiation poisoning and different things like that. This is fact. This is not pseudoscience. These are fact. So if that is the truth, and white people have been here as long as they claim that they have been, even the short time, I don't give a fuck if it's been 100 years, you said must adapt or die. Why haven't they adapted? Like, wouldn't it be that they would have designed or created some sort, or like adapted into some sort of reform or some like armor in the sun? Them adapting is putting on UV cream. It could be a whole reset like the Matrix. This is the Matrix. You're in a simulation. You are in a virtual reality system. Say, I think we were the Big Bang. That's interesting. That's an interesting theory. Tell me why you say that. Why, Yasmin, why do you say you think we were the Big Bang? They're not from here. You say all of them never died. They fled to other planets, then took hosted other beings like they are doing now. Saying they ain't crystal beings. Nope, but we are. Wouldn't the genome have shrunk? I feel it was a reset and they are in the water placed. We have been restricted to go. It's possible, but because our ancestors are also in the water, which I believe is Cosmo as well, because power is in the water. The forefathers were lucient. We were the giants. The same way sickle cell works for blacks to combat malaria. Explain. That's a great way of saying or thinking or putting that or whatever. Can you explain it? Very much so, Shakira Jones. Gratitude. You say lucient, bright, white. Well, the beings that I come from are um as dark and dark blue black type with gold like freckle like pigment dust type things. That's where I come from. Crystals. They look like it's like dark black with crystal like gold, like melanite. And there are many different jewels and crystals, um, garnet, androdite, different forms of melanite crystals. And I really believe moldavite is also one of them, which is why it's so expensive. I believe moldavite is kryptonite. Say our bodies naturally. Hold on, let me put it up here so I can see it before it goes somewhere. Our bodies naturally adapt to that environment as opposed to whites. Their bodies still have not adapted to sun despite being here so long. Right. But she said your bodies must adapt or die. So, um, and they are dying. You know what I mean? But if we believe in that, in the your everything transforms. You know what I mean? To adapt to the environment. I'm just asking questions. That's all. Because my original question is why are there sundown towns? Why have we not gone in large populations and waited for the sun to go down in sundown towns? They say yes, they are. Skin cancer and zero birth rate. They got to mix with us. But why haven't their skin adapted? That's all I'm asking. Anyway, I really enjoyed this conversation with y'all. I really have. It's just a think piece for me. I like to just think and pose different questions. You know what I mean? I like to pose different questions. I like to think. And somebody going in there, maybe somebody should be wearing, a few people should be wearing live feed cameras so we can see what actually goes on. Let it be a live feed so we can see. Not recording on your phone, holding the phone. No, I think we should have secret cameras that would live feed, you know, so we can see what goes on in sundown towns. Anyway, I love y'all. I'm gonna let y'all go. I appreciate y'all for coming on and having a conversation with me. It is all appreciated. Gratitude, so much love, so much, information that they have ponder on. I show gratitude to y'all. I'm going to rest and relax. What you getting?
Huh.
What you got? Some coffee?
Okay.
Okay. Pretend.
Okay.
And I will see y'all later. Gratitude. Solitude de wa. Solitude de she, el monte. Okay. El bouti, y'all.